Does anyone remember a television show on PBS called Caillou? It's the show about a little kid who goes to all these places and deals with real-life situations. There was an unaired episode that was so fucked up I had to tell someone. You might be wondering, how do I know of this unaired episode? Well, I used to work at PBS Studios. There was a man who was the lead animator for a Caillou special, who was supposed to revive the struggling franchise in 2008. His name was Daniel. He would work day after day in an isolated room, designing a special that would blow our minds, as he said. He indeed blew our minds, but not in an amazed way. In a sick, twisted way. One day he rounded up the cast and crew of the show to watch his final product. He gave us 2 DVDs and then left for unknown reasons. We put the first DVD in to see our guaranteed masterpiece of an episode. If only we knew what would befall. The first DVD started. It had the normal theme song for Caillou, and it brought back memories of past episodes for me. A title card appeared, and it said Family Secrets. The episode began with Caillou in a hospital, and his father was sitting beside him in a rocking chair. Our first look at Caillou was horrifying. He was on life support, and he looked pale, somewhat in a ghost-like form. He looked disheveled. He had a bandage on the right side of his face. He was doing a mix of coughing and crying. He then asked his father a question. "Daddy, why would she do that to us?" His father answered, "I don't know, son." The tape kept looping. I. Then it went to a shot of their house in a flashback, I presumed. Caillou's mom was in the kitchen cooking something when her husband walked in with a depressed and somewhat scary look. He had dark rings around his eyes and had no eyebrows. He was sobbing. The results came back from the hospital. Caillou has brain cancer. His sobbing increased, but somehow his mother seemed unfazed. Was she in shock? She just walked out of the room and began dusting around the house. She noticed her husband's wallet on the table in the living room. Inside of it she saw a used condom that had semen drizzling from it. It prompted the man next to me to say, "What the hell?" Inside the wallet there was a phone number that belonged to Miss Martin, Caillou's preschool teacher. Caillou's mom confronted her husband and slapped him across the face with the condom. He then picked it up to throw at her, but it missed and stuck to the wall. This is when the confrontation started. "What the fuck is this?" Caillou's mom said. "I don't know," said his father. "Yes, you do, you man whore." "It's not like I get any from you anymore, since you have those fucking kids. I told you to abort them. Hell, I would have shoved a vacuum cleaner into your pussy to get them out of there. But no, you wouldn't let me, you stupid bitch." Caillou's mother began to sob as she put her hands over her eyes. Meanwhile, Caillou's dad went over to the crock pot that she had on the stove, and he slammed it to the ground, and their cat Gilbert fell out. The argument continued. "What the hell is this, you crazy slut?" Caillou's father said. "Oh, I'm the slut. You are the one sleeping with our son's teacher," his mother said. "Excuse me, if I think he has ADHD or some shit like that. You would never pass normally, so I became the teacher and taught Miss Martin reading, writing, and sucking my dick." "You're a monster." "Yeah, and you're a cunt. Now live with it." Caillou's father ended the argument with that. We were all in shock by what we just heard. One of the other men began to look for Daniel. Caillou's mom lifted her hands from her face and her eyes were blood red. She took a knife from the kitchen and stormed past her husband and ran out the door. Down from the stairs came Caillou and Rosie. They said, "Daddy, why were you and Mommy yelling?" He responded by saying, "Because your mother has lost her mind." The next scene was Caillou's mother bursting open the door of the preschool. Miss Martin saw her red eyes and she said, "Oh shit." Caillou's mom saw the kids around her. She ordered them to line up against the wall, Miss Martin included. The first one to go was Leo. He was stabbed in the back and had his spine ripped out. His guts fell from his back into a pile with steam lines above it. She then went on to stab Clementine, Emma, and Xavier. She then went up to Miss Martin and cut her head off and ripped her vaginal tubes open. She then put her severed head inside of it. We were all terrified at this point. The cast left and most of the crew did too. There were only 2 other people and me. Caillou's mom went back to the house. Caillou and his dad were in the basement, but Rosie wasn't there. She went into her room to sleep. Caillou's mom went upstairs and saw her daughter sleeping. She then put a pillow over her head and suffocated her. Rosie was dead. It then cut to an intermission that had the puppets from the original seasons. What we saw them do was really fucked up. Rexy the blue dinosaur was having butt sex with Teddy for 5 whole minutes until Dee Dee the squirrel came up with a chainsaw. The screen faded to black with screams of terror and sounds of a chainsaw. It went back to the show. Caillou's mom slaughtered his grandparents and was wearing the face of Caillou's grandma as a mask. I almost shit myself. The cops abruptly showed up and tried to put Caillou's mom in handcuffs, but she stabbed an officer in the throat and began to eat him. Another officer took out a double-barrel shotgun and blew the top of her face off. It then cut to a picture of Caillou's mom's head blown off, but the bottom half remained there. Her tongue was flapping out of her head, and her eyes could be seen in all of the mess. It then cut to a fraction of a second of words on the screen. We rewound the DVD and paused it. It said, "I'm coming for you, you crazy bitch." It then was back to the hospital. Caillou was having surgery to remove the tumor from his body. They had to take his right eye out, and then the tumor couldn't be taken out of the body. The medical equipment they used was also dirty, so the eye was infected. It then cut back to the original scene, and Caillou's dad was still saying, I, your fucking eye." His eye was deformed and grotesque beyond belief. He rushed towards Caillou, but the medical staff came to stop him. He was near a window. I can't take it anymore. My family killed my spirit, and now I'm going to die with it. He jumped out of the window and fell to his death. Caillou then took his last breath and passed away. The DVD ended. We took the DVD and the unwatched one, which said Family Secrets commentary on it, and threw them into the garbage. We later found out that Daniel murdered his wife, but was never found. Let me clarify that the DVDs are not destroyed, and they are still out there somewhere. If you see any DVD with Family Secrets or Family Secrets commentary on it, do not watch them. For the love of God, don't watch them.